Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Welcome to day 12 of my 12 days of Crafty Christmas. Today I'm going to be creating a project with the Joy of Noel stamp set and coordinating dies. I'm also going to be using some of the Joy of Christmas designer series paper. I have done a little bit of prep work. So I have stamped the Noel and heat embossed it in gold on some cherry cobbler cardstock. So I've got my Noel. I've also die cut the medium size stitched heart from the Give It a Whirl dies. So those pieces are ready. And then I have cut my pieces for today. There's quite a lot of cutting involved, but the end project will be worth it. So I've done most of the cutting and scoring ahead of time, but I will run through it with you. So I've got a piece of shaded spruce cardstock that is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I haven't done any scoring on that yet. I'm going to do that with you in a moment. I have got a piece of designer series paper that measures 10 inches by 3 7/8 of an inch. It is scored only on the long side at 1/2 inch, 1 1/2 inches, 5 1/4 inches and 6 1/4 inches. I have got a piece of shaded spruce cardstock that measures 6 1/2 inches by 3 1/4 inches. That is scored at 3 1/4 inches and 4 7/8 of an inch. I have got a piece of designer series paper that it measures 3 1/2 inches by 3 1/2 inches. I have got a piece of shaded spruce cardstock that measures 3 1/2 inches by 3/4 of an inch. We're nearly done. I have got a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock that measures 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. I have got a piece of shaded spruce cardstock that measures 3 1/8 of an inch square. And then I have got a piece of basic white that is 3 1/8 of an inch square. So that's all of our pieces. So I'm going to bring in my 5 3/4 inch square piece of shaded spruce. I'm also going to bring in my little mini trimmer and I'm going to trim off a sliver from 2 sides. So just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to rotate 90 degrees and trim off a tiny bit. There is no specific measurement for this. It is just a little bit. So that's how much I've trimmed off. So it is just a little thin piece. There is no specific measurement for that. And then I am going to bring in my trimmer and I'm going to score on all 4 sides at 1 inch. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's all of our pieces ready for the next step. So I'm going to bring in my snips and I'm going to cut up these score lines. So up to that first horizontal score line, and then I'm going to do the same on this side. So up to that first horizontal score line, I'm going to turn my card round 180 degrees and do exactly the same on the other side. Like so. And then I'm going to wedge each of my squares. So I'm going to cut a diagonal wedge on both sides of the square, like that. And that's so that when I put this together, my sides will sit flush. I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. So, like that. Last one. Now, then I'm going to put this together. So You can use whatever sort of adhesive you would like. You can use liquid glue, you can use tear and tape, you can use Stamp and Seal, you can use Stamp and Seal Plus, whatever adhesive you would like. I'm going to fold and burnish all of those score lines. It just means I'm going to get a nice crisp draw. It's a little hint as to what we're creating when I put all of this together. So it's just making those fold lines nice and crisp, like so, and then open that back out, and then those score lines, and then we can stick it together. So I'm going to tuck the tabs in, so we're going to end up with like a little tray. I'm going to use some tear and tape. But like I say, you can use whatever adhesive you like. So I'm just going to put a bit on each of those 4 tabs, peel the backings off. Like so. Oh, let's get a new bit. This is what happens when I don't use my take your pick tool to take the back off. Okay. So then I'm going to fold so that that edge is nice and flush, and then give that tab a good squidge in. So again, nice and flush, and then give it a good squidge. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Okay. Then I'm going to choose which side is going to be the front of my box, and I'm going to make a hole. So I've got a little hole punch here. You could use just a normal hole punch, and I'm going to aim for the middle. Now this one is quite a small punch, so I'm actually going to punch a few times just to give myself enough space. I think that'll probably do it. And then I'm going to take a piece of this lovely black and white ribbon, and you only want a really short piece, you don't need very much at all. I'm just going to trim that off, and then I'm going to fold it over. I might end up actually trimming a bit more of this. Actually, let's do that. Let's trim a little bit more. There we go. I'm just going to fold it over and carefully poke it through the hole. There we go. And then I want my fold to be on the underside, so I'm just going to turn that little tab over, and then I'm going to pop a couple of bits of tear and tape, one above the hole, one below the hole, and then I'm going to split that ribbon. Like that, and then I'm going to take the backing off of one, like so, and then I'm going to take that top piece of ribbon and stick it at the top, and then I'm going to peel off the backing of my tear and tape at the bottom. I hope you can see that okay. And then my bottom piece of ribbon, I'm going to make sure I'm happy with the size of the tab, because this is my last opportunity to adjust it. And then I'm going to stick that down. Then I'm going to bring my snips in, and I'm just going to tidy up that edge a little bit just so that it's not showing out the front of our box. I'm going to trim off a little bit of the bottom as well, and then I don't know how well you can see that. Get that out of the way, and then our skinny strip of shaded spruce is then going to go over the top, and it's going to cover up that ribbon and just add a little bit of extra strength to our box. And I'm going to use Stampin' Seal Plus for this. Let's get that started. And then put that in and cover over that ribbon. There we go. So we've got our little pull. Then we're going to take our square piece of patterned paper, and I'm going to pop that in the bottom of my box with a nice even border all the way around. So I'm going to go in with some liquid glue for that. Just getting those little frayed bits of ribbon out of the way. So I'm just going to do a good squiggle of a good squiggle of glue. And then I'm going to pop my piece of designer series paper down, give it a little wiggle so that it's nice and even. And then that's our little tray complete. So then I'm going to bring in our long piece of designer series paper, and I'm going to use my bone folder again to gently burnish those score lines. And I'm being gentle because the designer series paper is thinner than the cardstock, so I want to try and avoid creating holes, although I have got a little bit of one there, but I'm hoping that when I put it together you won't notice. So then I'm going to build my wrap around my little tray just to make sure that my tray will slide in and out nicely. And then I'm going to use my tear and tape to carefully put that together. So I'm just going to pop my tape along there, peel off the backing, and then make sure we're lined up nicely and stick it down. So now we have a cute little tray, and then we're not done yet. So I'm going to bring in my piece of cardstock that measures 6.5 by 3.25, and I'm going to pop that down. I'm going to burnish my score lines with my bone folder so that they're nice and crisp, and then I'm going to attach just on this bottom section my piece of cherry cobbler cardstock, so that I don't inadvertently get liquid glue somewhere I don't want it. I'm going to use my tear and tape. So we'll peel off the back. Like so. And then I'm going to pop, being careful to line it up, that over the top. So that's that piece. Then I'm going to pop my shaded spruce piece on over the top, and I'm going to use liquid glue this time to give me that little bit of wiggle room so that I can get that nice even border. There we go. And then we'll pop that down on the top, so we'll have a really narrow border all the way across. Give that a good squidge down. Then I'm going to open up and pop my piece of basic white on the inside. So then I'm going to bring in my pre-prepared pieces. Now I've kept hold of the outline of my Noel die so that I can very carefully position my Noel exactly where it should be. So I'm going to lay it down over my piece of shaded spruce, and then I'm going to carefully add a little bit of liquid glue in the gaps, and then I'm going to lay my pieces in there. Oops. And then the E. And the L. And then before any of that glue has the opportunity to fully dry, I'm going to whip away my outline very carefully, and then you can add any extra bits of glue that you might need to hold it in place. And then my little stitched heart I'm going to pop up on a dimensional. So, and then that's going to go inside my card like so, and then it creates this cute little easel card. I'm just going to try and carefully put a tiny bit of glue under the edge of that E that doesn't quite want to sit flush. There we go. And you could add extra embellishments and things to your easel card. And then I'm going to take my easel card and pop it on the top of my wrap. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to slide the tray out, I'm going to flatten my wrap, so I'm using the score line, so I'm not just kind of squashing it, and then I'm going to carefully pop my easel card in the centre of that square, so being mindful of where that score line is. And I'm going to pop that on with some Stamp and Seal Plus. So just going to be a little bit careful with my placement. I think that looks pretty good. And then it will pop up like that, and then I can slide my little tray back in. And there we have it. There's our little project for today. So, one of the things that I did think about maybe doing was bringing in this stamp, whoops, from the suite, or from the bundle I should say, just to add a little bit of extra texture. And in fact I might go back and do that after the fact. This might go horribly wrong. I should have done it before I kind of stuck it together really. But just the idea of adding, let's take that out, just the idea of adding some texture, just very gently, oops, around the edge, just like that. And then there we go. It just adds a little extra something. And pop the tray back in. And then you've got your space to write your message, and then a little drawer. It's actually quite a good sized drawer. It is 3/4 of an inch high by 3 3/4 square. So you would fit quite a bit in that drawer. I was just raiding my drawer in the office. You'd easily get 2 of the Maltesers reindeer in the drawer, or maybe a bracelet or a necklace, a nice set of earrings or something. You could always put a little bit of stuffing in if you wanted to put like a really small gift in there. But there we go, that's it. That's project 12. I am quite sad to be saying goodbye to this little series. Thank you so much for joining me. I've really appreciated your love and comments and support, and the new subscribers on YouTube. Every like, every comment, I do a little happy dance, and every view as well. So thank you so much. I look forward to bringing you a whole new series very soon. So keep an eye out. I will be announcing on both Facebook and my YouTube channel the new series that is coming very soon. So it's not goodbye forever, it's just goodbye for a short time. But thank you so much for joining me. I've really enjoyed creating the projects for you to see. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.